Shauna, so my understanding is that we're going to be spending the remainder of our time together today exploring the idea, of calling your doctor. It was also my understanding that your thought was that it made most sense to you today to be spending our time together exploring this idea of calling your doctor, as you felt that this may support you in moving closer to your goal of returning to work, which you seem pretty anxious to do.
Yeah, I I I think that it could help, but then again, it might not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know,
Mm-hmm. You're
right?
uncertain. It almost sounds like you're on a little bit of a teeter-totter in regards to this whole idea of returning, of calling your doctor.
Yeah, I really like I said, there's a frustration level of not actually being able to go in and see the doctor. There's waiting on the phone, but and then I think to myself, well, really, can he do anything for me?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he can. Maybe I'm grasping at straws, thinking, oh, he's going to be the miracle worker. He's going to help me and I can get to where I have to go. So I kind of struggle in that way about, you know, maybe I'm just wasting my time trying to phone the doctor and sitting on the phone for an hour waiting, right? I don't know.
It sounds like it's really important for you to be a good steward of your time, and you even said it to yourself, is this going to be a waste of my time? You're wanting to be that good steward. And it also sounds, Shauna, like you're wondering if potentially he may be able to help you in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious, definitely, but there again, I don't know if he can or he can't.
Mhm.
And so maybe I'm a little scared about what he might say to me.
Mhm.
Maybe there's a little bit of, I might be a little anxious or scared of what he tells me. Maybe you can't go back to work ever, or maybe we can try this and this is going to fix it. I don't know that. And I think having that, a feeling a little scared like that is also stopping me from phoning.
There's this nervousness, of the unknown, right? Like, what is he going to say, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, you've also shared there's this curiosity as to what he may be able to do.
Yeah, I definitely, I definitely am curious, but I'm scared too
Mhm.
at the same time, if that makes any sense.
It makes perfect sense. You're feeling two ways, about calling this doctor. Shauna, I'm wondering if you were to entertain, which it sounds like you are, entertaining the idea of calling your doctor, what might be some of the benefits of calling your doctor?
I guess the biggest benefit would be that maybe I would feel better. Maybe he could help me. And that would definitely obviously be a great benefit.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because if I did, if I could get to that point, then maybe I could go back to work.
Mhm. So you're holding some hope, in terms of there is the potential that he may be able to support you in moving closer to your goal of returning to work.
Yeah, I've got a little string of hope in the back of my head,
Mhm,
I
mhm.
guess.
In terms of calling your doctor, Shauna, if you were to fast forward, a few months down the road, and you've called your doctor, and he was able to help you, and you were able to get your health back to the spot where you were able to return to work, what would your life look like? Return to work.
Um, I would feel that I had some worth.
Mhm.
I would be able to support myself. My life would totally be different than it is right now. It just would, it would make, I guess ultimately it would make me very happy to be able to do all that, to obtain getting a job, and to be able to feel, that I have a worth, and that, I can continue on life without being, in pain, or having to have somebody assist me, whether it be financially or physically. If I could have that, it would make my life, I guess, worthwhile. Is if that
Mhm.
makes any sense or sounds,
Mhm. Shauna, you're really talking a lot today about this sense of purpose that you're looking to get back into your life. You've also shared this longing to, for independence. And it almost sounds like a sense of fulfillment.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Mhm. Mhm.
I mean, it's like I said to you earlier, it's very difficult when you've worked hard all your life and you've done things all your life, and all of a sudden it comes to an end, that you can't do what you did yesterday, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it makes it difficult, and it's hard some days to not be able to say, hey, I can just go and do this because I don't have any pain or I don't have anything, right? And I just want to get back to that place in my life.
Mhm. Mhm. It almost sounds like, if I may, it would be like a new beginning, right? What is that expression? A new leash on life, but
Yeah.
where you're holding the leash,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you're right. You're right in that. And it would be, it might not be the life that I had prior, but it would be a new life, and have some meaning to it, and that I've worked hard to get to that new life, I guess. You
Mhm.
know?
Mhm. You put in the effort, you know.
Yeah, that's, I mean, I don't have anybody else to put the effort in for me, so obviously I'm gonna have to do it myself, but it's just getting to that point.
Mhm. Mhm. It's almost like, you have this recognition that, calling the doctor, would support you in moving closer to this new beginning, this sense of fulfillment, this sense of purpose that you're longing to reestablish, you know, in your life. And you're recognizing that you are the one, in the driver's seat. You're it, that if you want this, you know, you're the one that makes the call.
Yeah.
The call, I guess I'm making a little bit, we're using that. I just kind of noticed that, if I may, that I didn't mean to make a pun, but kind of
You
made a pun there.
did.
um,
Make
uh,
the call.
yeah, make the call. Um, uh, when we're looking at this whole idea, of potentially calling the doctor, if we were to put this on a scale, Shauna, in terms of importance to you, and we have a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 not being important at all and 10 being really important, how important is it for you, you know, to look at making that call within, I don't know, what would be a fair time frame? We didn't even establish that at the beginning. A week's time? Would that be fair?
Oh, maybe a week, maybe a week and a half.
Okay, week and a half it is. How important would it be for you to make that call within the next week and a half?
Um, Honestly, I would think probably a 9.
Mm, this
It's
is
very,
right up
it,
there.
yeah.
Mhm. It's top priority. Shauna, if we were to look at using the same scale, 0 to 10, but this time for confidence, your confidence in moving forward and calling the doctor within the next week and a half, with 0 not being very confident and 10 being, yeah, I got this, I'm feeling really confident. Where are you at on that scale?
Mm, maybe a 5.5
Hmm,
ish.
hmm, okay.
5.5 ish.
Yeah, yeah, you're halfway up that scale. You've got some confidence under your belt.
Well, and maybe I think just talking about it more for me has maybe lean more in towards that maybe I need to do this.
Hmm, hmm. I, you're kind of leaning into the idea a little bit more now, after, doing some processing and thinking about it.
Hmm.
Shauna,
I would say that.
yeah. Shauna, like, what's giving you that confidence of a 5.5-ish versus a
Yeah.
4?
Um, well, I know that I can do it.
Mm,
Um, I just have to, I think, it's not I think I'm fairly confident in being able to do it. It's whether, I guess, whether I choose to do it, I guess to um, maybe get out of my head that I'm worried about what he might say,
mm,
and try and focus on that maybe it would be a good thing, that maybe try and get that into my head that he maybe can help me, and not have that maybe he's going to tell me there's nothing that can be done,
mm.
right? So I'm feeling more towards that I, I have to take that step, I guess, to
Mhm.
find out, because I'm not going to get moving forward in my life if I don't, I guess.
You're, if I may, Sean, I'm hearing a couple different things that I'd just like to chunk out a little bit with you, if that's okay.
Mhm.
You're feeling like you do have some abilities to make this call, and that's giving you this sense of hope. You've also articulated that you feel it would be helpful to yourself if you did some reframing in terms of how you choose to look at making this call. And you're feeling that by looking at this call in terms of, um, in a hopeful way, in a positive manner, such that he may be able to help, um, it's a way that just might give you a little bit more traction forward.
Mhm. Yeah, I would agree with that.
um, Shauna, like, you said that you feel that you can make this call. So I'm curious, what are some of the strengths and abilities that you're tapping into that make you feel that you can make this call if you choose to do so?
Um, well, I know before all this had happened to me that I was a very confident person. Um, I was able to do things without worrying about either or, kind of, so to speak. Um, and I guess I was able to process it better before, but not, with this happening to me with my back and not working, and you kind of just slide into a place where we now, or I need to get back out of, I guess, and you just feel that you don't have the confidence, or you can't do this, or so I try and pull from before, when if something was wrong, I'd pick up that phone and I'd phone the doctor and say, hey, like, and now I wouldn't worry about what the outcome would be, whether it be good or bad. It'd be like, I need to know what this is,
Mhm.
right? Or how I can fix this, or what he can do to help. Whereas now it's like, I just don't know if I
Mhm.
want to know, in
Mhm.
some respects, right? If it's not good news.
You've had past success, um, whereby you've just taken the bull by the horns, picked up the phone, and reached out to the supports that you needed.
Mm-hmm.
And what are, what is an example of one of those times that you might be able to share with me today, Shauna?
Oh, that's a hard question to
Mhm.
just try and think of. I mean, I know I had confidence before, and I know I was able to, the ability to do things. Um, like I said, even, calling the doctor, like, oh, I wasn't feeling good. I was getting dizzy. I was, but I was kind of scared to call the doctor. But on the other hand, it was like, you need to phone and find out and go in and see what's going on and get this fixed,
Mhm.
and or help with it, right? And I went. I phoned the doctor, made my appointment, went in. Wasn't the best outcome in the world, but you know what? I got told I was diabetic, and I thought, how can that happen when I don't eat sweets, I don't do any type of thing like that. But it's what I did with the information,
Ah.
right? And if had I not known, like found out when I did, because my sugars were really, really high, and he was very concerned for me having a stroke or a heart attack right there, because of how high my sugars were, my blood pressure was high, my cholesterol was high. But you know what? we he got me on some medications. I changed my eating habits. So in the long run, it turned out for the good. It wasn't the best news, but I was able to take that news, and maybe that's where I have to go with this, is try and, if it isn't great news, but there's something that can come out of it, then
Mhm.
that's maybe what I need to start thinking about, like how when I went in and wasn't feeling good.
So,
I'm healthy otherwise now, right? So
so
that,
you chose to focus in the past on what you chose to do with the information that was shared. It really sounds like in that situation, you utilize the information, to support yourself in moving forward. So you didn't see the information as, kind of a stalemate, like, oh, here we are, even though it wasn't the information, or sorry, it wasn't the, information that you necessarily had wanted to hear. You took that information and did something with it to support you moving forward with your health.
yeah.
Shauna, how do you see using that same type of scenario and, the abilities that you drew on within yourself, for that scenario? How do you see using that to support you with your current, um, change of calling the doctor?
Well, I mean, just talking about it and looking back, I mean, I never, all this time here now, I've been sitting here, oh, I don't call that doctor. I don't want to know that. know the outcome, because I wasn't thinking about what I had done in the past when something was like this. And I think, you know, it is what it is, whatever comes out of the conversation. But I think it's probably a phone call that's needed to be made
Mhm.
now, like, because I feel like it wasn't great news before, but I was able to overcome
Mhm.
what what the news was and to deal with it. And I things are good on that health front right now. So, I was able to succeed in taking some of that. And I think maybe that's where I kind of need to take a different look about calling the doctor now.
Mhm. You're recognizing some of the resiliency that you have within, and you're seeing that as a potential strength that you can draw on to support you in making this particular call.
Yeah, I yeah, because I would never think of it if I wasn't actually talking about it right now, or being asked about it, right? You don't think of what you did in the past or how you got through things. So,
Mhm. Shauna, what do you see as a potential next step for you then? Towards this goal of calling your doctor.
well, I think that I am maybe what I'll do is I'll put a reminder in my phone. I'll put a little note in my phone that, like an appointment, so to speak,
Mhm.
just for me to put that in my phone. And it's like, okay, well, my alarm went off now, and so I have to make this call now, you
Mhm.
know, and maybe that will help me take one step closer to calling them,
Mhm.
right? Just to
Mhm.
have something for me, because I mean, I'm not going to get off this video thing with you and call my doctor right now, because I
Mhm.
still don't have that feeling of right now. But
Mhm.
maybe if I put an appointment in for the next day, or
Mhm.
3 days from now, and just take it when it comes, and then just pick up that phone.
Mhm. It sounds like you see your reminder in your phone as prepping you, you know,
Yeah.
um, for the call, for the
Yeah.
actual call. Is there anything else that would support you in boosting your confidence and actually making that call, Shauna?
Um, I honestly, like I said, I don't think there is right at this point, because like I said to you earlier, I never thought about being able to do that before.
Mhm.
When I did do it, I wasn't thinking right now, oh, remember when you got told you were diabetic and you were gonna have a stroke, and you know what I mean? Like, I think that in itself, thinking back to that and knowing that I was able to make that call and things were fixable.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I think even that in itself is maybe enough, and setting an alarm to actually do it. Maybe that's enough for me to think of the success I had before
Mhm.
making a call to the doctor, and maybe that will be enough for me right now
Mhm.
to do that.
You're carrying some optimism, with you that that drawing on past successes will support you in being able to move forward and make this call, with some reminders as well from
Hmm.
your phone.
Yeah,
Mhm.
my
Mhm.
mind isn't as good as it used to be, so I have to put little reminders for a lot of things in my phone. So
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a good tool,
yeah.
to have for you. And it sounds like, you know yourself best, and this is a reasonable next step towards your goal of calling the doctor, which would ultimately, be a stepping stone to move you a little bit closer, to returning to work.
Hmm.
Shauna, our time is coming to a close, and I'm wondering if it would be okay with you if I touch base with you within a week's time just to see how you're doing, in terms of this idea of calling your doctor. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, maybe in a week and a half, because we were giving a
That's
week to a week and a half to make that phone call. Um, if I'm just saying, you
yeah,
know,
for sure, for sure.
because
So
I don't want that extra pressure of, oh,
yes,
Trudy Lynn's going to call me on this day in a week, and I haven't made that call yet.
yes. And ultimately, Shauna, um, you're going to do what works best for you in terms of making this call. So, if I may, my role is to support you just in
Mhm.
exploring changes that you think would ultimately help you. So, whatever the outcome, ultimately, like the ball's in your court. So, should I call and you haven't moved forward with that goal? It will be your decision as to whether or not we continue to explore the whole idea of calling your doctor, or if there's another change goal that might make most sense to you at that time.
Okay, yeah, I think that's good.
Okay.
You know,
All right. So all if you're agreeable, I will email you within the next week and a half's time, and we can, set a date and time that may work best for both of us in order to meet again via this platform.
okay, I would like that.
Okay, so just prior to us saying our goodbyes, I'm just looking at our parking lot. So if you have a paper and a pen available, I can give you that information
Okay,
in terms of the benefit office.
perfect. Thank you for looking into that too as well.
Okay, thank you.